Member of Parliament for Nevis 11, Patrice Nisbet, is questioning the rationale behind how the government came up with a figure of $1,000 per month as assistance for workers affected by the financial fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking on Issues radio program on Freedom Radio Tuesday, Mr. Nisbet said the amount was inadequate to meet the needs of workers as this was way below the minimum wage.
The government is offering $1,000 per month to persons who are affected by this COVID-19 virus. One would want to ask, well, how was this $1,000 arrived at? Having regard that in St. Kitts and Nevis, I think the minimum wage is about $360 per week. And if you are now going to offer people $1,000, it means that you're offering them something below the minimum wage. And how $1,000 will be able to have a positive impact upon some person's way of living, and how some persons will be able to survive on $1,000 when regard is had to whatever expenses that they may have. And when would this $1,000 become available? Because I believe, having regard to what we are hearing, having regard to some of the things that we are seeing, one would want to think that if $1,000 is what is going to be given, it has to be given and disbursed and distributed sooner rather than later.
Mr. Nisbet suggested that the government should have considered the minimum wage in its calculation of the relief payment.
In the country. And so I would think that at least the starting point should be where our minimum wage is at this present point in time. To pitch it below the minimum wage, to my mind, is doing a disservice to the workers of the country. Because you are not really, in my mind, giving them the type of help that they would expect. Because I believe that they would expect, based upon where the minimum wage is at, that would be the point at which they launch and move forward.
Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris announced recently a $120 million stimulus package, which included paying $1,000 to persons who may have lost their jobs due to the health crisis.
The Social Security Board, in this regard, will establish a special fund of about $15 million to assist with income support up to a maximum of $1,000 per month for workers whose income would have been impacted by COVID-19. Registered self-employed persons who can show that they have been impacted would also qualify for this support.
Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.